Oh, I'm doing great, man. I'm happy to be here for this game. This is fantastic.
Sorry if you hear yourself in your ears, Brian. Once again, we forgot to mute the mic check, but obviously that gives us a good sign that the microphone is working. All right, folks, we are underway here in period number one as we get you set. As I said, this mid-season contest between the Tilbury Bluebirds and the Stratford Irish. Quick shot there by King, sent wide out to the point. Johnny Montgomery, no relation to Matt Montgomery. Sorry to break the news there, Monty. For a couple of years there, Brian, when Monty was a member of the Tilbury Bluebirds prior to them trading him to the Irish, I used to joke and tell people that they were brothers, and I wasn't joking. I thought it was the truth. And then Johnny and Matt used to go along with it. As there's a quick shot blocked out front by Henderson. The bouncing puck at the side of the net. Tilbury nearly gets an early goal right there, as that was a dangerous shot. But yes, Johnny and Matt Montgomery are not brothers, contrary to popular belief, although they still keep the joke alive. And well, from what I've heard, as Weir goes out to play this puck, awkward play, and that pass out front just out of the reach of Benga. It'll swing back into center ice where McKibben has it there. And away goes Jake Durham. Jake Durham, always dangerous. Look out, he takes a hard hit from Calvin Thompson, who is never shy from the contact. They dump it in on Weir. Thompson's going to find it there, but it's poked away by McComb. Durham pokes it towards the middle. Stavrou on it. He'll backhand it, and away go the Irish. Palillo gets Thiessen. Thiessen swings in, drops it towards the middle. It's knocked down out of midair. They score! Ethan Salter, his first as a member of the Stratford Irish. A fortunate bounce right there, Brian, off the stick of Christian Palillo. And that's why they say just put pucks on net.
Absolutely, and that was a really nice play all the way around there. A nice rush by Thiessen. Beautiful backhand pass to get it into the slot. Puck went up in the air, and nice hand-eye coordination by Palillo, who got it down on the ice and eventually thrown into the net to past a stunned Polidori.
Yeah, Polidori didn't know what hit him right there. It was just such a quick developing play. And the Irish take the early 1-0 lead, but with this man on the ice, you know it's dangerous. Durham drops it back. McComb, the quick shot kicked away by Zach Weir. It stays off the glass in play, and Salter's going to spin it free. He's got Calvin Thompson, the veteran, gets it off the stick of Palillo, so no icing, and he'll rumble in after it with Lacotte. Lacotte makes a nice move to take it away, and he's going to start the rush for the Bluebirds, who, by the way, thank you so much for having nameplates on your jerseys. It makes my life a lot easier as Durham just ahead of the play offside. We're going to face off just outside the Stratford line.
Well, I got to agree with you. We've been asking for that for years with the Irish jerseys, but to be honest with you, there's been so much turnover the last little while that the seamstress will be working overtime trying to get all these names put on the back.
Yeah, they'd be spending quite a bit of money getting those jerseys figured out. As Matt Barnes getting a shift at forward, I think, Brian, after that beautiful goal he scored, a beautiful setup he had, a couple of games ago against the Elvis the Killer Bees. Why not give him a couple shifts up front? Barnesy, a very versatile player, did play a little bit of forward in his younger days with the Trenton Golden Hawks, but has been primarily a defenseman throughout his career. He's getting, like I said, some shifts at forward, so keep an eye on 44 as he's got the puck here. Makes a move. He'll get that one right on the tape, walking into Cristofaro, and his partner Henderson's going to send it. Strange bounce at the side of the net. Polidori unable to squeeze. King takes Montgomery out the corner. The former teammates meet. And now the puck tied up, gets back to the liners to Cristofaro. The quick shot, and Barnes tried to deflect it, but he sent it into the corner wide. Aaron's stick on the ice. They avoid it. Barnes ties his man up. And again, Tilbury, we mentioned it briefly at the top of the hour here. The Bluebirds coming off of a back-to-back, as Polidori actually has a player's stick. I just noticed it was Polidori that lost his stick, and Butler actually gave his stick up, and that's going to force the Bluebirds into an icing. Just a scrambly play right there. But, Brian, what are the thoughts of a team in senior hockey playing a back-to-back like this with the road trip? I do know that they stayed in London. A couple of guys banged up, but they kind of stayed halfway, made their way up here. They didn't want to head all the way back to Tilbury, but it's still got to be a different mindset than, say, when you're in Junior B, Junior A, getting a back-to-back.
Yeah, it's a totally different game here in the senior level. And, when they're back-to-back, guys are getting banged up. They play a lot more physical game at this level.
Pass right on the tape. Miglaccio, he leaves it there. Here's Hunter. He'll take a quick shot. It was blocked. It comes free, and Stavrou fanned on that shot, and the Bluebirds turn back in their own zone. These two teams met once already in Tilbury. It was actually the Bluebirds' first win of the season, a 7-6 barn burner in that game. Zach Weir stood on his head in the first two periods, He ended up, unfortunately, injuring his groin in that game, causing a certain broadcaster to have to be the emergency backup the following day. And backup Pavlis came in, and it was just tough for him to come cold off the bench. And Tilbury ended up storming out to a 4-goal third period and taking that game for their first win of the year. As Miglaccio tied up hard in the corner that time. That's Taggart, got a stick in on his hands to get it back to the line. Here's McKibben. McKibben's got Denemy out front, the deflection, and Weir got a piece of it at the line. McKibben takes another shot, blockered away, and then they center it. Denemy scores. Dylan Denemy puts that one in the back of the net and ties the game. And we talk about it, Brian, all the time. If I was going to build a team from scratch in any level of senior hockey, I think number 96 is a guy that I would probably take with my first pick.
Well, I would agree with you. Having said that, that one was served up on a plate for him, to be honest. Unfortunately, Zach Weir, unable to control the point shot, gave up a big rebound. A nice look out front there by, I think it was Durham that found Denemy out front. And he had no problem tapping it home from 3 feet out.
Well, a couple of strange bounces lead to 2 early goals, 1 per side, so we're back to level. Just over 4 minutes into this contest, Montgomery kicks at a puck. It pops free. Calvin Thompson activates. Montgomery swings at it, and then it's sent back all the way down around the kick plate. Out front, hoping for Montgomery was Palillo, and instead McKibben picks it off, and Benga takes it the other way. His pass intercepted as Weir covers it up, and we get a face-off down in the Stratford end.
One thing we've learned over the last couple of years is these two teams always play exciting games. We almost never see a blowout game. Generally, one team will get the lead and the other one will come back. They have played quite a few games, and of course, that was an epic 6-game series last year.
Look out here. Henderson breaks his stick. Benga the backhand, and he sent it wide. And yes, Tilbury got through the Tillsonburg Thunder, a team that beat them 2 years in a row in the postseason, and got to the second round to face Stratford. And it ended up being a very entertaining series, but it did swing the way of the Irish as that one picked off in center by Johnny Montgomery. He'll backhand it in, and Matt Henderson is going to take the puck there. Henderson dances around, can't get by King, and then here comes Durham. That's not the guy you want, and then Henderson's going to take a penalty as he slashes the stick right out of the hands of Durham. Henderson was frustrated because his stick was broken by ironically, Durham slash right off the faceoff.
Well, it was a missed call to begin with, but he can't argue about that call for sure. I mean, that's definitely a slash. And, at the end of the day, he tried to walk around one too many guys. He tried, 3 guys were on Henderson as he come out over the blue line. And that's just something you got to be careful of because they will forecheck you, this Tilbury team. They can't skate.
Well, like we said, they had a tough game last night in Strathroy, a 6-3 final. As Matt Barnes might get on this loose puck in center, but a good back check by McComb. He turns it away. Starting from their own zone, but yes, Tilbury, a tough game last night, 6-3 loss in Strathroy, but Strathroy, a loaded lineup last night. They brought all the dogs. That's the best lineup they got. Prust, McQueen, Schremp, you name it. Basically, half of a roster that could play in the AHL starting today, but Tilbury, they never, ever shy away from a good game with the Irish. Here's Cole Thiessen. He'll look things over and then send it all the way down calmly. And one guy, Brian, that's in the lineup tonight, but he's not here just yet, is a very important player in this matchup. Ray Robbins wearing number 9. We need him on the penalty kill, and he's not here just yet. So.
Yeah, former captain of the Irish and probably their best penalty killer.
As Thiessen makes a nice play there to send it all the way down. And one thing I'm impressed with so far, Brian, is this penalty kill for the Irish. As Tilbury, we know they do a lot of damage on the power play. They load up, they put the big guys on the ice, and they try to make it hurt on the man advantage. But the Irish are doing a great job as here they come. Silver, a 2-on-1 develops in front. Montgomery, the backhander, and he sent it high and wide. It was a bouncing puck, and he didn't get a clean look on it. And that allows the Bluebirds to start up. Montgomery coming oh so close. As here come the Bluebirds. They walk right in. The rebound out front. Benga, he swipes at it, and Montgomery sends it down the ice as that was a dangerous chance off the pads of Zach Weir. What a beautiful setup from the Bluebirds. A nice move there by 11. That's Ryan, but unable to finish as we're down to the final 20 seconds of this power play. Standing up at the line, another nice play by the Irish, denying the entry, and the Bluebirds are going to reset. Here's King. He'll gain the line, look things over. He'll backhand it. The fired pass, and then Calvin Thompson lays the boom in the corner on Ryan as he took that personal. What a hit that time from Calvin Thompson. Puck out of play. We're going to face off in the Stratford zone.
Well, we love Calvin Thompson. He's been an Irish player for several years now, and I know him off the ice as well. He works with my son And, he's just a great guy off the ice, that's for sure. But he's no fun at all when he's on the ice. He's a bad man out there.
Nope, he'll put you on the seat of your pants as that shot seen all the way by Weir right into the chest. 1 second to go on this initial power play of the contest. So safe to say, barring a miracle off the faceoff, the Bluebirds will start the game 0 for 1 on the man advantage. And hopefully I didn't just pull the announcer's jinx. I didn't. We're back to 5 aside, and that shot blocked by Montgomery. The puck pops free. There's Butler. He'll send it, but no further than Calvin Thompson. Away goes Christian Polillo. He rumbles up that right wing side. He waits, tries to get it to Henderson, who's up on the play. McKibben, it's in his feet. They put it down low. There's Montgomery. He's tied up by Lacotte. Polillo joins the battle. He's going to spin free. McKibben's all over him, and then McKibben wrestles him down to the ice. That's a tough thing to do. That's a big man. And away go the Bluebirds. It's Butler. Butler gains the red line, leaves it on the wing side, gets it back. Butler goes into the corner, and Bedard takes a bump. Matt Fuller back in the lineup. Good to see him in the lineup. He was injured in Stratford a couple weeks ago, and some people weren't sure if he was going to play again this year, and he's back in the lineup tonight, playing on that steady veteran pair with Calvin Thompson. Here they come, walking right in. Valancourt will take the backhand shot off the outside of the net. Di Cristofaro had some trouble with it. Now Durham after it. And that's one thing you're going to notice. Durham and Denemy getting pretty much every second shift tonight with such a short lineup. As Durham looks for Denemy. Denemy finds it there on the wall. One of the best 200-foot players I've seen at the senior hockey level. As that shot right in the chest. And a good stop from Weir. We'll get another face-off in the Stratford zone, this time once again to his left.
Yeah, and these guys have been playing together. The only guy really that you notice right off the top that they're missing from previous years is Winkworth.
Yep.
Otherwise, they're pretty much a full lineup here.
Yep, this has been their team for the last couple of years. That pass for Durham out of his reach, and away goes Hunter. He's got Miglaccio. Miggy swings to the far outside. Now he takes a shot. It's blocked by McKibben. Sorry, that's King on the block. As the crowd making some noise, looking to win a free jersey tonight. Part of the Irish giveaways. Now it's a 2-on-1. It's Denemy and Durham. Not the guys you want. Denemy waits, gets it out front. Durham, and they score. Irish get caught pinching. And just like that, the Tilbury Bluebirds grab 2 goals in the last 5 minutes and take a quick 2-1 lead. Brian, defensive lapse right there for the Irish.
Just a really bad pinch there by Thiessen. Unfortunately, was caught up, and I know he's got all the wheels in the world there, but at the end of the day, this team isn't likely to beat you. Tilbury I'm talking about. They're not likely to beat you if you keep Denemy and Durham to a minimum on the scoring. They've got other good players, don't get me wrong, but they're the guys that are going to kill you, and you just cannot let them come in on odd man rushes like that.
Yeah, when you see those two on a 2-on-1, that's a goal every single time, and that's one thing that they didn't have last night in Strathroy was any time or space. Those two still found the score sheet quite a bit, but that was a gift from the Irish, and they need to get re-engaged here because with Strathroy win in Elvinston tonight, if it happens, obviously that's a big hypothetical, as they score at the side of the net off Thiessen's foot. Tough shift for 23 in black as that centering pass went off his foot right on the tape of Sammy Benga, and the big 3 for the Tilbury Bluebirds. Bang, bang, bang. It's 3-1.
Well, you'll watch Cole Thiessen play the rest of the season and not see him have a shift like that. Bad luck there off a bounce, but at the end of the day, he's got to tie up his own guy, and there's a broken stick right off the draw.
They're laughing about it because that's a couple of $100 right there. Glad they can laugh about it. That one off the skates of Montgomery. It goes in. But as I was touching on, Brian, moments ago, the Irish are in a situation where, a win here and a combined Elvinston loss frees up the opportunity to get right back into that first place contention. And they're not looking so hot right now. A really bad start defensively for the Stratford Irish, who jumped out to the 1-0 lead, which we saw evaporate very quickly. And you blink your eyes, and all of a sudden, as Henderson gets hit hard right there by Montgomery, and now opposite Montgomery lays a man out in center ice, and then Calvin Thompson's going to backhand into open ice, and it's picked off by Johnny Montgomery. He's pestered. Silver stepped up. They say it's onside. The quick shot, and that Irish bench freaking out down there. That did look offside, but regardless, you got to play to the whistle, Brian, and they just let a man walk in and take a shot on Zach Weir, who I'm sure didn't appreciate that.
Well, your point is very well made. You play to the whistle, even if you disagree with what's going on there. But I tell you what, Stratford needs a kick in the seat of the pants, to be honest, and wake them up, because we talked off air before the game how their defensive core was loaded up, and they've got all kinds of good players on defense, and yet they look dreadful in the first 10 minutes.
Yeah, and offensively, it's hard to, as they're going to call icing on this one, it's hard to get your legs going when you look up at the scoreboard and 10 minutes into the game, you're down by 2. And that's all combined with a 1-0 lead that they jumped out to less than 2 minutes into the game. So
exactly, and that they could be down more than that. To be honest with you, they've had more scoring chances than that. It could be 5-1 right now.
Well, games like this always, are a little bit frustrating when, you're a fan and a follower of senior hockey, when you see guys like Zach Magwood and Mateo Cabral and, Jaden Pekka, all world players in this league, just absent from the lineup. And I understand guys can't be here every game. I understand that. That's not what I'm asking for. But it is tough when you got 3 guys that could be the number 1 on any team in this league, and they're all of a sudden absent for a couple games in a row. It does make it tough. As a good hit there from Fuller in center ice. Weir tries to make a dangerous pass there. Darche nearly knocked it out of midair. And now Stavru jumped away from the check of Lacotte, but he lost the puck, and now he's got it back right in front of that Tilbury bench. He'll just send it in on Polidori. That would have been offside. Still is offside. And they send it through center. Cole Thiessen battles with that puck. He gets it towards the Tilbury line, and it's in deep. There's McKibben. He'll go far side. Here's Lacotte. Lacotte looking for Denemy. He's got him on the tape. Denemy walks in. He'll swing wide, fire a sharp angle shot all the way out the opposite side. There's Palillo. Palillo sidesteps a man. He gets it to Cole Thiessen. He's fired up after that bad shift right there. He wants to make an impact offensively. He goes in behind the net. Puck goes around the far side. On it there, Thiessen. He'll spin it down low. And Stavru poked at it. Durham chops it. And there's Denemy. Denemy takes his time and then is passing center ice out of the reach of McComb. So Palillo covering his defenseman. Lays the pass up, and Matt Montgomery just lost it at the line. McKibben starts the other way. He's got Denemy. Denemy goes cross ice for McComb. And that puck then eventually finds McKibben, who's tied up. Comes free. Palillo gets it in the middle to Henderson, and they're going to call that offside. As Montgomery tried to hold the line, but I think he was just a step in.
Well, I think he had a foot over the line, but it just come up off the ice there, so it was definitely offside. And the pace of the game, as always in the NPHL, is quite frenetic. And the guys are still, Ryan and Montgomery are still giggling about the broken stick off the draw there.
I can understand. Like I said, that's an expensive mistake, even if it was just an accident. That'll cost you a few bucks.
That's an expensive face-off, man.
Still no sign of Ray Robbins here, and I'd probably say it's safe to say that he's not going to be here until at least the second period. Here's De Cristofaro. He'll fire that one off the stick of Palillo. It goes wide of Polidori. He's just going to sprawl out and cover with Matt Montgomery bearing down. But overall, Brian, I got to say, similar lineup to last week for the Irish when we hosted the Six Nations Ironman. A lot less creativity so far. I know, like I said, we were missing guys like Cabral and Magwood, et cetera, but offensively just lacking creativity all around.
Well, 2 goals from Cabral last week would go a long way this week.
Absolutely, as here's Palillo, a guy who can definitely score. He puts it down low. There's Barnes. Matt Barnes, poke checked off his stick. He's then taken down by King, bounces it to the line. Now, they say De Cristofaro was outside of the line. He doesn't like it, and we got one linesman that they are picking on hard here in this first period. But again, they get paid to do a job, and I'm way up in the broadcast booth, so I'm not going to make any calls from here. But I will say, Brian, that did look very close.
That was pretty close, yeah. I didn't see that come out, but again, like you said, he's got a little better vantage point than we do.
Yeah, he's wearing the stripes for a reason, and I'm sitting up in the broadcast booth for a reason as well. I've never been told that my officiating skills are quite there. Here's King. He'll dump it in, and it's sticked into the corner by Weir. On the puck there, it's tied up, and then it pops free to Tetro. He'll put it down low. There's De Cristofaro. De Cristofaro puts it up. Montgomery knocks it down, and once again, you see the short lineup coming into effect as you see guys already gassed as Barnes made a beautiful move, but he couldn't cut to the middle. And if they're gonna do damage, Brian, against the line, you got to do it against this line for Tilbury. As defensively, this is definitely the worst of their 3 lines they're running tonight. Here's Bedard on that far side. He'll spin it down low. Valancourt jumps in front of it. He takes the puck away. Calvin Thompson ties him up, and then it pops free in the corner. There's Miglaccio. Miggy's first game back in the lineup in a couple of weeks here. As that shot seen all the way by Weir, he'll cover it up. I'd like to see Miglaccio do something tonight, Brian. They're going to need him running as short as they are.
I've been really impressed with Tilbury tonight with the speed that they're playing the first 13 or so minutes of this hockey game. They're just flying out there tonight, and they're being given space as well. They're coming through center ice with speed, and Stratford with so many changes in the lineup, it's tough to get any kind of rhythm or any kind of comforter between lines.
Well, like I said, they're just kind of lacking that one guy that can take over a game tonight, like a Dylan Denemy or a Jake Durham. So even though they're fairly equal in terms of roster size tonight, as here's Durham right here trying to change the game again. He walks in, he takes the shot. Weir's got it as Denemy poked at the rebound, but Weir had it covered up, and we'll get a face-off. And again, Brian, they're just giving Durham and Denemy a little bit too much space for my liking here in the first period. We saw the playoffs last year. How do you beat them? You shut those two guys down. And this, so far, is not the recipe of shutting those two guys down.
Well, they've got to get on them. Everything's got to be done quicker and get on them on the forecheck to slow them down.
Well, Denemy picks a pass off here. Stick lifted, though, nicely by Miglaccio. He'll get it in center ice, and away goes Matt Fuller. Fuller will dump it in. It'll ride the plate all the way around to the far side. There's Silver, who's playing forward tonight. So, ironically for the Irish, two D playing forward today. So they got a lot of defensemen, but lacking in the forward department tonight. Here's Calvin Thompson. Picks the pass off. He's going to start the rush. He's got Silver. Silver scored in his Irish debut last week. Now he's going to walk into the high slot. It bounces off a leg, comes free at the side of the net, and Stavru dove at it and missed it. He had the open cage yawning, and he couldn't put it in. Now this one takes a bounce off the official, Ryan there. He's poked at by Calvin Thompson, and McKibben's going to calmly walk it out, and he's going to pass it up to Ryan. Ryan's got a step. Ryan walks in, takes the shot, and Weir got a piece off that big mitt, and it's up and into the netting. Got to play.
Well, like I said, the speed in which Tilbury is playing the game is impressive, but at the same time, they're really not getting any resistance as the breakouts are easy. They're going through center ice really with a lot of speed. They're just not getting much resistance.
Well, Stratford's known to have a very strong 1-2-2 defensive system in the neutral zone. And it's 1-2-2 red. In other words, you got one guy pressuring as Montgomery blows a tire that time. Puck's still safe, and the Bluebirds get it out in center ice. We got one guy pressuring the absolute front. He's the F1, and then you got two guys standing at the blue line and then two guys at the red line trying to stand up and make those entries difficult and those neutral zone passes difficult. And we're not seeing that tonight from the Irish. Here's Tetro. He'll fire. Weir gloves it very calmly with Benga in his face, and he's going to hold on. And you got to feel for Zach Weir. He's faced a lot of rubber here, Brian, considering still 5 minutes to go in this opening frame.
Yeah, he's seen a lot of shots already. Like I said, Tilbury looks great. For a team that had a tough game in Strathroy last night, they sure look fresh.
Well, and that's the beauty of the NPHL. That was part of the reason it was created, is where another stop. You know, there were teams, and I'm not gonna name names or give away teams here, but in the former league, Brian, there were games where it was a win. You'd write it in automatically. In this league, there's no guaranteed wins against any team. Anybody can win on any given night. Maybe except the guys in Woodstock, but that's a different story.
Well, we've got a great division, don't we? We've got Strathroy and Alvinston and Stratford and Tilbury, and that's, every night is a good hockey game.
Yeah, if you look across the NPHL, that is a dangerous division, and it's going to be a tough one to win to get to the Outlaw Cup this year. As this puck pops free, shot on goal, and Palillo May got a stick on that, but Paul Adori, who's been playing very well lately, makes that stop. And Brian, ironically, they actually sat Paul Adori last night. Logan Phillips, their third stringer, got the start last night. They wanted to save Paul Adori for this game tonight, and I think that tells me that Tilbury knew that this was the game of the weekend that they felt they could win.
Yeah, absolutely. And, if you're going to win a game, you load up, and especially at this level when you're not going to have everybody on board, right? So,
no, absolutely. And I think that, maybe the word is spread throughout the league about Stratford early season, sometimes dressing short rosters, right? And that gives you an opportunity where you look at the schedule, you say, we're going to take our chances. Guys know each other, so maybe a couple guys hurt. Magwood's not going to be there. Pekka's away. They got a wedding, whatever it might be. And, let's load up for that game at Stratford. And so far it's working out for the Bluebirds, who have the 3-1 lead with just over 4 minutes to go here in period one. As this one spun around the far side, McComb. He puts it back in behind the net to McKibben. And so far, like I said, that 1-2-2 that you're seeing in that neutral zone, the Irish are giving up a little bit too much space on the far side. Here's Denemy. Denemy walks in behind the net. He spins it out front. It comes back to the line. Lacotte the shot. Weir never saw it. The rebound's loose. Still loose, and it goes in the corner. Zach Weir never saw that puck. It just hit him. There's an angled try from Durham. It comes out to the line. McKibben's shot blocked away nicely that time by Miglaccio. He'll peel off for the change. And the Bluebirds attack. As Durham stood up that time by, I believe, former teammate and Flint with the Firebirds, Matt Henderson. I may be mistaken. I know they both did play in Flint with the Firebirds, but I don't know if they played together. I just know that they were both two of the better players to ever suit up for the Flint Firebirds, with the all-decade teams being released last year. That one tipped in. There's King. He'll go after it. Silver tries to body him off the puck, and King just gets it up calmly. Nice play. As Valancourt's going to turn it over, and then an errant pass that time by Silver. Fuller's going to have to regain the line. He does. Fuller just takes a quick little shot, and Polidori's got it. And then Fuller rumbles into the area, but sticks stay down as we approach the 3-minute mark here of period number 1.
Well, you're just not seeing any continuity up front.
No.
First of all, you got a couple of defensemen playing up there, and that really speaks volumes when you've got defensemen.
Because Silver played defense last week. He's naturally a defenseman. And then you got Barnes playing up there as well. And it might just be 2, Brian. I do apologize. I think I did get that wrong. You were correct.
Either way, you've got defensemen playing forward because they can't dress enough forwards.
Well, you got defensemen playing forward, and then you got actual defensemen who are playing defense tonight jumping up a little bit too much. As here goes Dick Cristofaro right on cue. Sends it up on that far side. Salter gets it out front. Hunter deflects it, and Polidori calmly pokes it away. Now Dick Cristofaro up on the play, and they'll just send it around the far side to Kelvin Thompson. Thompson gets chopped at, stays on the puck. Thompson out front. Salter spins free. Nice pressure here. Best pressure we've seen since the opening few minutes. Now there's a shot by Dick Cristofaro, kicked away. And now Salter spins it back, but blindly, and away go the Bluebirds. Good shift there to follow it up, Brian, but I got to see a little more physicality of the Irish right now, too. A few guys shying away from contact.
Yeah, a little more sandpaper is going to be necessary if they want to get back in this hockey game.
Yeah, if you want to win this division, that's something that definitely has to be addressed. As that one fired cross ice, it's sent in the middle, and then it's knocked right back to King. King sends it in. They're going to say it was icing as Benga just missed deflecting it, so we'll get a face-off back in the Tilbury zone.
I will say the last 3 or 4 minutes, Stratford's done a much better job of slowing Tilbury up through the center ice area. They're getting back. They're getting into position. They're starting to get a little more continuity from line to line. They're starting to get into it now, but they're not winning a lot of draws, and we're just trying to see something. Any 3 guys who could make some pressure happen on a regular basis.
Well, like I said, without Ray Robbins, a leader, as Palillo picks a pass off, makes a quick move, and the shot kicked away off the toe of Polidori. But without Robbins, you get a guy who always wins pretty much 60 to 70% of his draws. He's a leader, and he just finds a way to make a big play. There's one on net from Miglaccio, and Polidori square to the shooter, makes the save. No rebound. Minute 30 to go here in period 1.
Well, that was good to see. That's what we were talking about earlier. You got Barnes going in the corner, creating a turnover. Palillo comes in and jumps on the puck and then finds Meigs in the high slot there. Gets a good scoring opportunity away.
As Palillo loses that draw to Denemy, and that stick came up high. It was on a follow-through, so no penalty. McComb sends it through center ice. It's going to bounce all the way down. Will it have enough for icing? Yes. Nope. They wave off the icing, as I guess Cole Thiessen's just that good of a skater that he couldn't even sell it. Here's Thiessen. Walks through center ice, lays the pass on the far side. Miglaccio takes the hit for his trouble, gets it in. There's Thiessen, sends it down low to ride the plate up the far side. They got nobody at the line there, but Thompson, a nice pinch. Here's Barnes, it's in his feet. There's Thompson in trouble. He'll get it up from Miglaccio, the shot, and a good save from Polidori. Last minute of play here in the first, as that one sent all the way down. That will be icing as Calvin Thompson took a swipe at it. But that's an icing I think Tilbury's willing to take with 96 on the ice, the best face-off man in the Metro Conference of the NPHL.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, a really good shift there by a newly formed line with Palillo and Barnes and Meigs. So we'll see if Stratford can finish this period strong, maybe even get a goal.
And there's Denemy, sends it all the way down off the face-off. That's going to be icing again. He's trying to sneak off. He's trying to say it was tipped. Oh, now the referee's going to jump in. He's going to agree with Denemy, I think. No, he's not. Denemy just arguing with everybody here about the face-off. And I think he did shoot that right down the ice. It might have got a piece of Montgomery, but that's such a quick play, especially at this level. It's going to be hard to sell it. But Denemy, again, great on face-offs. We'll see what he does here. And he wins another one cleanly. And the puck pops free off the draw. Tetro just sends it up the wall, and they're going to say that's no icing, as Fuller could have played it, is the ruling of the linesman. Fuller barking away. Got to watch out. You don't want to take a minor penalty here in the last 30 seconds over something like that. Henderson from behind his own net. He'll look things over, wait for things to get set up, and away he goes. Henderson through center ice. Bad pass picked off by Ryan. They got a 2-on-1. Ryan walks in. The quick shot. Save Weir. Rebound loose. Weir another save. Now Silver in front of his own net, dancing around dangerously. Puck pops free. Bluebirds on it. Benga out front hoping for Ryan, but it was picked off by Henderson, and away he goes. Final 10 seconds. Do they have some last-second magic here? Henderson walks in. It's onside. Takes the shot. It was blocked. And time will wind down here in period number 1 after 20 minutes of play. The visiting Tilbury Bluebirds 3 and your hometown Stratford Irish just 1. Brian, thoughts on the first period? Because personally, that was a sloppy first period from, ironically, both teams.
Well, to be honest with you, I thought it was a pretty good road period from Tilbury. They skated well. They got the puck out. They defended well. I tell you what, though, this may have set the league record for most chirping at linesmen in one period. I mean, they were all over these guys. Normally, if there's that much chirping, it's at referees. But the linesmen are, I mean, there's Denemy still going at the one linesman about the icing call. And, I mean, it's icing, guys. I mean, everybody just take a breath, go sit down, you know.
I think Fuller's doing the exact same thing right
Yeah, when's it my turn to chirp a linesman? You know what I mean? It's like this is it's not so much a spectator sport as it once was.
Lots of smiles, and that's the one thing about guys like Foley and Deno. They're both, the character guys. They're the guys that, I mean, this is, these two teams were kind of built around guys like that. So, anyway, I do hear what you say, Brian. I think that Tilbury did play a very good road period, especially an opening frame. You go down 1-0, no problems for them. They just bang, 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 3 in a row. Majority of the reasoning was Stratford's terrible defensive zone coverage against that Denemy-Durham line. They're going to have to be better at that. And they're going to have to, if they get a man advantage or two in this game, they're going to have to score, because that's the only way I see this team putting any damage. The way that they're skating and the way that, the continuity, like we said, up front looks right now. I think you're going to have to get a couple power plays, work hard, and try to score on those man advantages if you want to take this game.
I agree 100%. You're looking at lines that probably got introduced to each other in the room before the game, to be honest with you.
Yep.
They're just having no luck at this point. And you don't want to overreact because it's still only November.
Yeah, it's one period.
Having said that, it's not just about the top guys, the 2 or 3 guys. When you add it all up, you're not just talking about Magwood and Pekka. You're missing Cabral and you're missing Robbins and you're
Pekka
missing
and,
Pirog, and you know what I mean. So like you're talking.
Yeah.
Basically, the top 2 lines are not there.
Well, Pirog was supposed to be here tonight as well, and I believe it was a weather-related issue with him getting here as well. So another. I mean, that's all 4 guys. So you got, like we just said, Pekka, Magwood, Pirog, and
Cabral.
And Cabral.
Robbins now hasn't shown up either. So I mean,
you look at Magwood, you look at the
Maya's
career he
not
had,
here either.
Maya as well. I mean, these are guys that were elite at minimum junior A, university hockey. A few of those guys made it to the AHL. So
that's 2 lines. That's top 2 lines right there.
Absolutely.
So, I mean,
we're not making excuses for the folks at home, and if you're watching from Tilbury, it's just one of those things where you guys deal with it as well, I'm sure. Seeing, it's senior hockey. Teams are going to be short here and there, and it's just the nature of this level of hockey, Brian.
I understand that, but like I said, generally when teams get home, that's when you got to have guys in the lineup.
Yeah,
so,
absolutely.
It's much as we love the guys that are on the roster, that, you need guys that are going to be there because, this regular season means a lot more than past years have, because in past years, the Strathroy Jets provided ample reason to believe that you don't need to finish first in the regular season, because they finished 8th and ended up in the finals and went to Game 7.
Yep, absolutely. You're 100% right. In the new league with the new format as well, your divisional placing could win you a bid to the Outlaw Cup in Smiths Falls coming up in April of this year. So we'll be right back, folks. Stick around. Second period action coming your way. You're watching Stratford Irish Hockey, presented to you live only on Sporfy. All right, welcome back inside the broadcast booth of the William Allman Memorial Arena here at Stratford, Ontario, as we get you set for second period action. A very brisk opening 20 minutes of play. Quick recap for you. The Irish jumped out to an early 1-0 lead. A crazy deflection. Christian Polillo sent one out of midair. Bounced off Polidori. They tapped in the rebound. And then before you could blink your eye, it was 3 quick goals. Durham Denemy just dangerous on the ice. And just like that, it's a 3-1 lead. And that's where we stand. Getting set for second period action. Officials are ready. And, Brian, what were your thoughts on that first 20, and what are you looking for from the Irish here in the following 20?
Well, continuity is a word we were using in the first period, and that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for lines putting together a good shift of forechecking, sustained pressure in the offensive zone, and good defensive hockey. And I'm also looking forward to more from the former MVP, Dylan Denemy, entertaining us as he always does every time we watch him play.
Matt Montgomery swipes at that puck. And Johnny Montgomery sends it through center. Henderson knocks it down, and they sent it, but it was offside, so it's going to come back into the Stratford zone. Just a weird start, Brian, for 23 and 24 tonight, who are two guys that, and I know you can't be on your A game every game, but 23 and 24 in black tonight, just a little off with the passing. I can't explain it. You know, they're going to log 48 minutes tonight, whether they like it or not. But those two guys, just a little bit of a slow start, Brian.
Well, it was that one shift for Thiessen, really.
Same with Henderson. Just a couple of shifts that just weren't Matt Henderson-esque shifts. And we're looking for them to bounce back here in period two. As that pass right on the tape, away goes King. He's got Bango with him. King dumps it in. He'll go after it. Thiessen bodies him. And then Weir pokes it away from Henderson, who's about to play the puck. And the Irish survive as Stavru takes it in center ice. And they move up with 4. Here comes Stavru. Stavru tried to get it in the middle for Hunter. And instead, it's Benga. And then Stavru stays with it, makes a nice little move. And then his pass off a stick and out in center ice where Henderson resets. Henderson lays the pass in center. It's dumped in cross corner, knocked down. Here's Stavru. Stavru drops it. Palillo walks in, takes the shot, and Lacotte in a good position, got a stick on it, and that one up into the netting. But a good start here from the Irish, Brian. A lot better passing, especially here to start period two.
Well, first and foremost, a great active stick by Lacotte there. Palillo was in the high slot and had a great scoring opportunity there, and he just got that stick on the puck. But yeah, it's good to see them slowing Tilbury down through center ice and then getting some sustained pressure, and hopefully they can keep that up.
Well, that being said, the Denemy line is out for their first shift of the second period. We'll see how the Irish match up with them as they were giving them different combos. Palillo on net. The rebound was there. It pops free. Thompson shot blocked. But they were giving them a different look with a different line matchup all throughout that first period. Nothing seemed to stick. We'll see what they come up with here in period two. As here's McComb. He'll move in, take a hard hit from Fuller. That's a big hit right there. Durham, bodied, tied up. Puck comes free. McComb tied up. As I like this physical pairing of Thompson and Fuller. They got to be careful not to take any penalties as in behind the play. Durham goes at it with Thompson, but here's Palillo moving in, and he had Stavru up front, but King made a nice play to get in front of that puck. There's Salter. He'll go cross ice. It's off a leg, and now Denemy's got room. Might be a 2-on-1. Wait for things to develop. Fuller back in the play as he had to go fetch a new stick from the bench. Durham actually ripped his out of his hands and then threw it in the corner. Here's Palillo. He'll gain the line. He'll fire towards the middle, but it was deflected away. Good defensive coverage in their own zone so far in this game from Tilbury. Here's Bedard. He'll move in. He'll take the shot. Weir fought it off and made the save. And been a little bit different as well, Brian, with the start for Weir. I've noticed just a little bit more rebounds. He's not tracking it like he normally does, and that's bound to happen as a goaltender. I've had a few more of those games than I had the good ones. I can tell you that much in my career. But
it's just not sticking to him like it normally does, and that's rare, and you expect that to not continue as the game wears on.
As this puck near the line, Lacotte gets it in. There's Butler. He'll lay it towards the middle. It's poked away though by Barnes, who I can tell he's just a little jumpy right now because he's in a spot that he's not used to. Here's De Cristofaro. He'll chip it right to Bedard. Bedard sends it cross ice, nobody home, and there's Barnes, who's deep in his own zone. He'll turn away from a check, and then he'll get it right on the tape of Henderson. Matt Henderson fires cross ice off the skates of Silver. Now the puck pops free. Silver back on it. Silver, he's going to gain the line, just dump it in cross corner. It'll bounce off the wall. Barnes goes in after it. Big hit there by Silver. Puck eventually does come free on the puck. Montgomery walks in, tries the backhand out front, and instead it's taken the other way, and away go the Bluebirds. Might be a 2-on-1. Moving in, Valancourt. He's pestered from behind, takes a sharp angle shot, but Weir gave him nothing to shoot at, and Barnes starts to rush the other way. Barnes on the tape. Here's Montgomery. Montgomery gains the blue line, drops it back. Silver, his quick shot kicked away by Polidori, and then on it there, Montgomery will chop it to the line. De Cristofaro takes the shot. It's blocked away, but Montgomery on it first. Montgomery then sends it errantly all the way down the ice, and it'll be stopped up there by Weir.
Real nice shift there by Montgomery. Good defensive play, getting back to take care of the rush, and then led the rush going the other way.
I've liked the second period start here from the Irish, Brian. They are looking clean, and they are looking crisp so far. There's a fired pass in the middle. Stavru had room. He took the shot, and King, he's had a few blocks in this period and made a couple of beautiful plays. Here they come in the other way. Tetro left it there, but Denemy sent it off a leg. Darche takes a chop at a man. The puck pops free, and then Henderson lost that puck to Denemy, who put it right on the tape of Taggart, but he wasn't expecting it. And it's sent back the other way. There's King. King leaves it there. Tetro, he'll get it off the stick of Darche. And then Weir calmly plays it out in center ice. Palillo, the bounce pass, that was very close to too many men on the ice.
That was totally too many.
They still have 6 on the ice. Don't know what they're talking about down there. As
the player was going to go off, and then he didn't go off, and then played the puck.
Yeah, that was a really bad missed call right there. And we'll get a face-off back in the Stratford zone.
I may not be the best at math, but I can sure count to 6, and that was curious.
I think the best part of it was Johnny Montgomery on the bench saying, "Hey, we got 5." He put the 5 fingers up, and then right in front of him were 6 guys on the ice wearing Bluebirds jerseys. So, Johnny, we love you, but
Johnny,
that was a tough one.
He was selling it.
I can't say in that moment that he was Johnny on the spot. As that one sent up the far side, there is Johnny Montgomery. He takes a quick shot, and Weir had a little trouble with it, but he's got it under that armpit, and he's going to hold on, and we'll get a face-off. We have been alerted, folks, that there might be some issues with lag on our stream. I do apologize. I'm going to take a look at it. Yeah, it does appear that we're getting some issues here on the live stream side of things. I will do my best here to try to fix this, guys, as I go, but there's no promises as I'm trying to get many things done at once. Here's Stavru. He'll swing wide, fire a shot, blockered away easily that time by Polidori. More than likely, it's a connection issue with our camera. I might have to slip downstairs in a minute here and figure it out. Here goes McKibben out to center ice. He's got Ryan. Ryan moves in 3-on-2. McKibben joined the play, but a good stick that time by Cole Thissen. It comes free, and Stavru's on it for the Irish. Stavru swings the pass out of the reach of Hunter, and that's just another example of a few of those passes just missing, and here come the Bluebirds with numbers. They drop it back, but it was out of the reach of Benga, and away goes Cole Thissen with numbers the other way. Thissen leads the charge. He'll walk in. He'll look to the middle, pass it in front. There's Hunter, fanned on it. Puck comes free to Miglaccio, and he couldn't settle it down, and now the Bluebirds counter with numbers. Walking in, King. Good back check by Montgomery. He's all over Tetro, and then Levi Tetro turned it over, and then King's got it. He's just going to blast it right into the chest of Zach Weir. He's going to hold on. All right, folks, I'm going to step aside. Brian, I do apologize. I know that we weren't going to do that this game.
That's all right.
I'm going to go try to figure out the camera here, guys. Brian's going to be with you.
Well, first things first, what a wonderful play by McKibben to break up that scoring opportunity for Stratford. He saved a goal for Tilbury. They had a guy alone in front of the net. So the face-off is taken, and King gets it and shoots it in, and Zach Weir catches it and have a face-off, which will go to his right. So on the ice now is the Butler-Bedard-Vaillancourt line with Tetro and King on the points. Matt Montgomery takes the draw, scrambled. Bedard takes it in the corner. Looking, taking his time, tries it, putting it on net. Behind the net now, nice play to break that up by Calvin Thompson. Puck comes around to the sideboards and out of the zone, but given away, and Butler picks it up to King. King gets over the red line, dumps it in right on net to Zach Weir, and thinks the better of it and hangs on and gets a whistle. So at the end of the day, we've got 13:39 left in a second period that is definitely better than the first for the Stratford Irish, that is for sure. Were a little sluggish, but they look like they're moving quicker in the second period. A little more continuity is the word that we've been using through this particular period. So the face-off is won back to McKibben. Gets the puck over to Lecotte, who can't handle the pass. It's on the boards, out in front of the net. And the puck, then Palillo picks it up, flips it out to Hunter. Hunter gets it, kicks it actually back toward Palillo, and here's my partner, Treh.
All right, we're just going to reset the stream, Brian, as Polidori makes that save and holds on. All right, so stream is getting reset here. Trying to figure out what the issue was. I don't know if I fixed it, but I'm trying my best, folks. All right, off the ensuing draw, Irish control. And taking the puck there, Salter. He's got a little bit of room. He goes on the far side instead to Thompson. Gets it right back. Here's Salter. Makes a nice dangle. Fires the shot. Knocked down out front. Stavru the rebound. And Polidori stuck that shoulder up and made a nice save there to keep this a 2-goal hockey game. Irish applying consistent pressure here to start this second period. That's something we talked about. And I'm very happy to see the response here from the green and black tonight. Here's Denemy. He'll walk the other way. He's got McComb. Drop it back. Durham. Look out. Durham's got space. Leaves it for McComb. The quick shot. And it was denied that time by Weir. And away they go. Here's Salter. He's got Palillo. Palillo gives it back. Salter walks in. Takes the shot. And it's wide of the net. Now Montgomery spins it up the opposite side. Irish didn't play it there. I think they were in the middle of a change. And They wanted to make sure they didn't get caught because, after complaining about something, as soon as you commit that same offense, you're going to get called. Here's Darche, though. Good read that time. He'll walk in. He'll send it out front. They score. It's Jake Durham. His second of the night. He was left wide open on the doorstep. A bad turnover from, unfortunately, once again, Cole Thiessen. The blind cross-ice pass picked off by Darche.
And soft yet. It was the hat trick. It was blind, it was soft, and it was cross-ice, and it's a terrible giveaway. And then wasn't able to handle Durham on the way back in. And I tell you what, I have seen Cole Thiessen be one of the best defensemen this league has ever seen. And then there's whatever's going on tonight.
Yep, it's a tale of two cities tonight for Cole, unfortunately. We'll see if he's able to kind of rebound and get things going in the right direction here. But the Irish, they have a massive hole to dig out of now. As Matt Barnes is on the puck there, he'll spin it down low. Here's Montgomery. Matt Montgomery out front, and Henderson is swinging a miss. There's Thiessen on it, and he's just going to dump it in. It'll ride the plate to the far side. Henderson then sends one off the leg of Montgomery. Just one of those nights so far for the Stratford Irish, who are in serious danger of falling to 6-3-1 on this season and losing a lot of ground on the Elvis Killer Bees. Is that one out front? Oh. What a save by Weir! A spectacular stop! Did you see that? As you could have penciled it in 5-1, and I hope the Stratford Irish start playing for their goaltender after that spectacular save. As Montgomery turned that one over. There's a deflection out front. Weir, another stop. Irish almost looking like they're giving up on this game, and I'm very ashamed to say that right now. But just the way that they've lacked the skating here since they gave up that fourth goal. It's time to get engaged, boys, to try to win a hockey game. That one fired in. That was not deflected, so that will be icing on the Bluebirds. We're going to face off back down in the Tilbury zone.
Well, the shame is the first 8. Oh, what a save, yeah. But the first 8 minutes of this period, Stratford looked really good at scoring opportunities. And the one thing that we haven't talked about is the fact that when Ryan Polidori decides to blow hot, it makes it really tough to score a goal on them. And so now when you get behind Tilbury, you got to deal with the goaltender as well.
Yeah, just ask the Elviston Killer Bees how it feels to try to score when he is red hot, which he was last week, winning the first star in the NPHL awards last week with his 59 save performance. Crowd trying to get them going. Stream is still extremely laggy here, folks. I'm so sorry here. This is a terrible look with this laggy stream, guys. I do apologize. Irish on the puck in the corner. It's Stavru. He's tied up. And then McKibben takes it over. McKibben's going to wait. Set it high off the glass and out center ice. Once again, a bad pinch from the Irish. Butler dives at the puck. On it, there's Fuller. He'll send it up into center ice. But right there's Lacotte. He'll go cross ice. Knocked down and away goes Hunter. Brady Hunter. He'll walk in. Hunter swings down the right side. Fires a shot. Polidori kicks it away easily. Hunter back on it. Back to the line. Here's Fuller. Fuller takes the shot right into the chest of Ryan Polidori. He's going to hold on, and we'll get another face-off. This time, once again, in the Tilbury zone. Sorry, Brian.
Well, that's all right. And at the end of the day, it's a good bounce back, a good push back from Stratford here. You'd like to see them try and get one back before the end of the second period. They are still the Stratford Irish, and they like to make things dramatic. So this game is a long way from over as long as Stratford gets the next goal.
Here comes Durham looking for the hat trick. He'll walk in. Swing wide on Henderson. Good play by, and then Durham got hit up high by Montgomery. He goes after him. They want to go. And Montgomery is tying up Durham in the corner. Looks like they will not go at it. And instead, they're going to reset. DiCristofaro gets it in. Polidori can't stop it. Montgomery sends one towards the middle, and then he blows a tire in the corner. He's back up. Takes a cross check, and then Durham's going to start the rush the other way. Durham drops it in the middle to Tetro. Tetro fires a shot. It's wide of everything, and DiCristofaro's going to get it there. He's going to send it up the wall. It's out of the reach of Montgomery, and now Denemy is going to backhand it through center. Knocked down by Palillo, and then he leaves it for nobody. McComb walks in, and they couldn't complete the backdoor tap in as Durham was right there, and the Irish live to tell about that one. Here's McKibben in center. Bluebirds just full of life tonight, and the Irish the complete opposite. McKibben fires the shot up high. That caught DiCristofaro. Now the clearing attempt. Scrambling in their own zone, or the Irish are going to backhand that one out in center. Here's Barnes. Barnes chips one to open ice. He'll go after it. Lacotte's on him. Barnes all alone, trying to dance his way through trouble. He turns free. Barnes puts it down low. McKibben turned it over, and then Polillo a blind pass in center, and away they go. Here's Ryan down the right wing side. Ryan takes the shot. Quick save down low by Zach Weir, and on the puck there, Silver. Silver backhands it in the middle. It's taken away, though, right away by the Bluebirds, and they're going to send it up, and it's Benga. And that one went under his stick, so it'll be icing on Tilbury. We're going to face off back in the Bluebird zone with 8:31 to play in this very brisk moving second period, Brian. Wow.
Well, the pace has been incredible. I've been so impressed with the speed that Tilbury's playing at all night long, to be honest with you. And Stratford just isn't able. Their forecheck is in waves. They're forechecking in waves. They look really good tonight.
It's the best I've seen Tilbury play probably since that Alvinston game. I know they've only played one game since then, but to have such a short lineup, to be playing with this type of tenacity is extremely impressive. There's a play out front. Barnes swings at it, and it's sent all the way down. And it's a high stick, so they're going to blow it dead as it was touched up by a Bluebird. I do apologize, folks. A couple in and outs here for the replay watchers on YouTube. I'm trying to get our stream figured out here, and there's not much I can do right now. So I'm doing my best to work with what I got.
Keep in mind, folks, it's not the tech, it's the feed. So, you know, we've got some good equipment here, and normally our feed is wonderful, but just one of those things tonight.
Yep, it's one of those nights here at Stratford, it feels like so far, as that one.
It's like the tech is playing defense for Stratford as well tonight.
That's how it feels.
Ooh,
getting a little too active.
That was sharp, wasn't it?
That was a sharp one, Brian. You were all over it, man. I love it. All right, I'm going to try to.
Well, I will say this. We sure appreciate everyone who is listening in tonight. We appreciate everybody who checks us out and tolerates us for a couple hours.
Absolutely. Couldn't do it without you guys at home. We do appreciate you. As away they come. Here's Taggart. He'll fly in, take a shot. Where the blocker saved. Darche swung at the rebound, but he missed, and now Butler takes it in behind the net. Butler turns free. Butler comes around the far side, plays it up, and instead Salter's going to start up. Here comes Salter. Salter stops up, fires. There's Stavru, and he just missed that one. Stavru's had a tough night tonight as well, just missing on quite a few of these opportunities, and Salter's going to reset. He'll leave it there, Cole Thiessen. He'll go there for Salter, and then Butler's going to pick it off, and away he goes. Butler walks in, takes the shot. Weir kicks it away easily. Salter will go after it with Darche. Tied up, Darche pokes it free. Had Taggart back door, but a good stick by Cole Thiessen. Now they backhand it around the far side. There's Darche. He's back on it. He'll put it down low to Butler. Butler then pops it right to Cole Thiessen, and he's going to wait for his line mates to get out into center ice, and then he's going to start up. Thiessen fires up and out of the reach of Stavru all the way down. That'll be icing, and just not clicking tonight, Brian, are the Stratford Irish. That's the best way I can put it.
That's the nicest way to put it. You know, there are other ways to put it, too, and I will spare you the gory details on that, but at the end of the day, there is not much life there. Having said that, there's still almost half the game left. There's still just a little under 7 minutes left in the second period. But you really have to wonder if they're going to be the kind of team that's going to be able to pull themselves up by the bootstraps and get themselves a couple goals, get back into this game.
Well, Durham's going to score the hat trick right there, and that's going to extend the deficit to 4 goals. And once again, Durham with that much space. That's a guy you cannot give that much space to. And he's going to get his 3rd of the night. And again, we talked about it, Brian, in the early going of this game. That's one guy that you just can't give space, and they've given him space now 3 times. And guess what? He's put the puck in the back of the net all 3 occasions. And the Irish really, really got their work cut out for them now. There's another shot by Durham looking for the 4th of the night, and it's easily stopped that time by Weir, as now we got the camera settings popping up. Guys, once again, just not our night. That's the best way I can put it so far here.
Well, I'll be honest with you, I'm a little surprised that we haven't seen a goaltender change, and I'm certainly not blaming this 5-1 lead on the goaltender.
No.
I can tell you that for sure. But Zach Weir has been a wall for this team for several years, and when your team is not feeling it, then get the goalie out and get somebody else in to see if you can get a spark, because, I never was a fan of hanging my number 1 out there when the team is playing poorly.
Yep.
And that is something that, something that I believe in. But they're going to ride with Zach and see if we can get back into this game.
There's a stick broken in center. Here come the Irish walking in Silver. He'll take a low shot. Easily stopped that time by Polidori. He gets the freeze. Montgomery's just looking to start something here. I wouldn't be surprised to see Montgomery or Thompson get in a scrap here to try to get his boys going. But
yeah,
again, Brian, it might be too little too late here.
Well, you're looking for a response. And, it's interesting. I was in St. Mary's last night watching the St. Mary's Lincolns hand Cambridge their first loss of the season. And Trey's got to step away and fight with the tech again, folks, so you're stuck with me for a little while. Anyway, I'll finish the story. And St. Mary's came out and played their best possible period in the first period. It was 2-0, and then you were looking for a response from Cambridge, and it never came. And next thing you knew, it was 5-0 for St. Mary's. So it's important that somebody steps up, and I'm not talking necessarily about a fight here. I'm talking about some kind of answer. And a rebound and a goal. There's Matt Henderson, who scores on the rebound, and that's just right on cue there, I guess, looking for a response, and what a wonderful play there. And Matt Henderson knocks one in on the rebound after a great play by Migliaccio, who I thought was going to score there. It might have gone off the post or just got past Polidori, but there was Henderson, Johnny on the spot, ready to knock it in, and it's 5-2.
Look at that, Brian. I guess I just have to go down, leave the booth a couple more times, eh?
As soon as we got Hammer out of the booth, they scored.
All right. We are in a brand new game here. It's 5-2. Irish got their work cut out for them if they want to get back into this thing. And here's Matt Henderson, the goal scorer. He'll fire it up. Irish look to get the breakout, and it's picked off by Ryan. And here come the Bluebirds looking to answer right away. Ryan walks in, back door, and it was out of the reach of Benga. Now it pops free. Ryan, he's been very electric tonight. He's a guy that I didn't even know was on this roster. He's a good hockey player, and he's really made a difference tonight on this second line, adding that much-needed depth to this Tilbury lineup tonight that was, just had to play a game last night. It's hard to bounce back, but they've bounced back in a big way. Here's King. He'll look for it on the wall, get it in the middle. There's Benga. Benga drops it back. King the shot, and Weir had the rebound pop out. Henderson battles for it. It comes free, and away goes Palillo. He's got a man far side. It's Salter. He kicks it in. He'll go after it. Salter spins it, but it's right to Johnny Montgomery, who plays it up the far side, and away goes Valancourt. Valancourt. He'll working on Di Cristofaro, and then a quick, sharp angle backhand shot right into the chest to Zach Weir, and he's going to hold on, and we'll get another face-off in the Stratford zone.
Well, I tell you what, we can take it all back if in the last 4:42 of the second period, Stratford could actually score one more and make it 5-3 and get into a 2-goal deficit. This game is far from over. And so when we talk negatively, we certainly understand that these guys are grown men and they could turn it around. We'll see what happens.
Absolutely. Our criticism comes from a place of seeing how great this team can be. Here's Migliaccio right in on the breakaway, and he was tied up from behind. Couldn't get a clean shot off. Now he sends one on goal. Montgomery stuffs at it, and it goes around the other side. That close were the Stratford Irish to getting back within 2 in this game. Here's Barnes in center ice. He's got it there. He turns it there for Montgomery, and Di Cristofaro has it. He'll turn back. Di Cristofaro leaves it up on the far side. It's knocked in, and here's Montgomery. A little bit of room. He's going to swing wide. He'll send one towards the middle, and it's out at center. So here's Barnes. He kept it in. Barnes on that far side. Looks things over. He's actually back on the blue line here. Not too sure who's riding the pine right now, but Matt Barnes getting a few shifts on the back end. Definitely a spot where he's a lot more comfortable. 4-man scramble. 3:45 to go here in period 2. McKibben walks out with the puck, and he's going to start up. And Bluebirds might have numbers. McKibben just sends it in there at the end of a long shift, and that one's going to actually bounce in on Weir. And Valancourt in his area is going to hold on. We'll get another face-off in the Stratford zone. 5-2 the score, 3:37 to play here in period number 2.
Well, a real good shift there by Matthew Barnes. A good spark shift there to get the puck down low, had possession for some time, and created scoring opportunity. So, I'm trying to figure out whether he was just playing D there or whether they've actually moved him back. I certainly like him better back on the point than I do up front.
Oh, he's a lot more comfortable, like I said, playing defense. Here's Stavro. He walks in, takes a shot, and Polidori saw it all the way. Rebound popped out, but he's got the rebound corralled, and we'll get another face-off in the Tilbury zone. 3:25 to play here in period 2.
I was a defenseman, and for most of my quote-unquote playing career, But get the odd shift up front, but you really weren't anything great up front, sustained, a shift or two here and there.
Here's Thiessen, walks in, takes the shot. Polidori, a huge save. Remember that one later, folks. That was a big save on Cole Thiessen, who is hungry to try to get one on the board tonight after a couple of mistakes that led to goals in the opposite net. There's a picked off pass here. Salter, a good read. Salter, he's got Thiessen joining late. Salter leaves it. Stavru in front. Polillo, the shot. And I believe his stick was tied up by who else? It's Dylan Denemy, who's always the hardest back checker on that team. As that one's sent all the way down, there'll be icing on the Bluebirds. And Brian, I do got to say, for a little stretch there, the Irish looked like they'd given up on this game, but these last couple minutes, it seems like they're starting to pick up their steps since that second goal hit the back of the net.
Agreed. That was the last 2 or 3 minutes exactly, or what's going on there. And to be honest, I'm shocked that Thiessen didn't bury that when he had Polidori at his mercy, and he just happened to hit Polidori right in the blocker.
Yeah, Polidori made a nice stop, sprawling out to the far side. Here's Henderson. Couldn't quite get on the puck. Salter's there. He's had a good game tonight, 55 in black. But Denemy picks off his pass. He's going to gain the red line and dump it in at the end of a long shift. They're going to peel off for a change. One thing I am surprised at, Brian, the Irish have not got a look on the man advantage yet tonight. And here's a play to Ryan, a bad pass, and he sent it high and wide. Right on cue, a bad turnover from the Irish. And they nearly put that one in the back of the net. Here's McKibben. He'll spin it off the wall all the way down. No icing. It doesn't have enough. And on it there, Henderson will spin it up the opposite side, hoping for Thiessen. Thiessen knocks it down. He goes after it in center. He'll poke it up out of the reach of Silver, and then he'll go after it himself. Here's Thiessen. In behind the net. Pops out the far side. Goes down low. Silver's on it. Silver makes a nice move. Nifty little deke there. That's a defenseman playing forward with a nifty little move. But Polidori covers it up with the blocker hand with 1:54 to go here in period 2.
Well, talk about stick handling in a phone booth. What a nice little move there to get around McKibben. And to be honest with you, one more move, and if you'd have found anybody out in front, but I almost called him Tilsenberg again. Tilbury doing a great job taking care of guys out in front of the net. There's not a lot of passes across, not a lot of rebounds, and, otherwise this game might be a little closer.
That play put in, they say it's onside. Fuller jumps in front of an outlet pass. Tried to steer it ahead to Hunter, but instead it's Darche the other way. Darche goes cross ice, took a hit for his troubles, and away goes Silver. Silver's flying here in the second period. He makes a quick shot. It was blocked away, though, by McKibben. Tilbury doing a good job playing a playoff-style game, stepping in the way of shots, and now they're going to call an absolute garbage penalty on Calvin Thompson, and they're going to call roughing as he played the body in front of the puck. And Darche had the puck, so I knew he wasn't calling it interference, but he deems that was roughing. And the Bluebirds get a power play. As I said, Stratford still awaiting their first man advantage of this game.
That you're always surprised at this level to see a team go 2 periods without getting a power play. And, this is a big kill. It's a $1:24 left in this period. They really need to kill this off, obviously, state the obvious.
Well, Irish penalty kill, we talked about it last week. It's been an area that they need to improve on. You go back to their championship year last year, that was arguably the strongest part of their team, as Weir makes a good save there right in the chest. But the Irish, again, last year, Brian. This is a different team, different guys, but majority the same roster. Add in a few guys, especially the big names. They were, like I said, operating above 85% last year. And then that postseason, we saw a number of shorthanded goals.
I'm not sure why the trainer is yelling at the referee. That's confusing.
It's getting loud down there by the Irish bench. We get a beautiful visual, and we can hear everything from up here as well as the crowd starts to get on the refs. Here's Tetro. In the final minute, Durham, he'll fire a shot, and he didn't miss by much, but he did miss, and Tetro has it at the opposite point. He'll put it to McComb. McComb's pass picked off, and Stavru, he's got Fuller jumping up on the play, and Fuller's just going to calmly wait, go back, and then spin in. But it was picked out of his pocket, and here comes Durham. Durham walks right in, takes the shot. It was blocked by Barnes. The rebound spun out front and just out of the reach of Montgomery. Denemy has it on the far side. Dylan Denemy back to the line, and then a bad pass, and away goes Anthony Stavru. He might have a step, but the diving play by Tetro. That's a beautiful play. Stavru takes a sharp angle shot into the final 20 seconds here of period 2. Stavru on it in the corner. He'll send it all the way back to his own goaltender, Zach Weir, who's going to come out to stop it with 14 seconds left. Weir puts it on the opposite side. Dancing his way out of trouble to Cristofaro. He'll send it up and into center ice. Tetro knocks it down. 5 seconds to go here in period number 2. And time's going to wind out with 36 seconds to go on that power play for the Tilbury Bluebirds that will carry over into the third period. Brian, a really, really not great period from the Irish. I thought, once again, the Bluebirds are playing a great game tonight. The Irish are not. And again, it's people, at home might say, well, they're criticizing them. At the end of the day, this is a 20-game regular season. And like we said, the implications, every game means so much, especially in terms of playoff seeding. You had an opportunity to gain ground on Elvinston, so I hope that the Stratford Irish come out and at least have a good third period and show the Tilbury Bluebirds that they're willing to put up a fight. Because at the end of the day, Brian, I know from being around hockey such a long time, as many years as you have, sometimes a team just has another team's number. You can't explain it, right? We're Philadelphia Flyers fans. Who do they always beat? The Montreal Canadiens. I don't care how good the Canadiens are. Since my entire life, since 1998 when I was born to today, as many times I can remember, dominant Montreal teams, good Montreal teams. Philadelphia just has their number. Different players, different jerseys, everything. Tilbury this year seems like they might be a team that has the Irish number. And, we're seeing it play out. They already lost the game in Tilbury, and here they are down 5-2 going into the third here. So what do you want to see from the Irish, Brian, to come out and make a statement in this third period? And even if they lose this game, just show that we're not willing to give up without a fight. Well,
the last 5 minutes was the best they played all night. And they've got scoring opportunities. And, again, we talked about it earlier about the fact that, you giving up a big lead to this Tilbury team is a big problem when you realize that Polidori is in net. And he may not be the most high-profile guy at this level anymore. But in previous years, we're talking about a former MVP. We're talking about a guy who at least at one point, held the record for most wins by a goaltender in the Western Ontario Super Hockey League. And so, this guy's he's a stud. He's a stud goaltender. You can talk about the other fellas in this league, but he is one of the best for sure. And when he's playing well, like he is tonight, it makes it real difficult to get 5 goals on him. And now they got to get 3 in the third period. So they had a real opportunity with Thiessen, about 3.5 minutes left, who was in a glorious opportunity there and just happened to hit the blocker of Polidori. And then a couple other guys had good rushes as well. When they start using their feet like that, and some good pushback, I think we're going to see a better period out of them coming forward. But they really, really, really have dug a hole here. And so it's going to be a tall order. But this is why they play the game, right? If they can get a goal early on and get down to a 2-goal deficit, then as they say, 2-goal leads are the worst one in hockey.
Couldn't agree more, Brian. Thanks for your thoughts here on period number 2. Guys, stick around. We'll be back. I'm going to try to get this streaming situation figured out here, the connection issue, whatever it might be. We do apologize. Obviously, being on Sportfeed, charging for streams, we expect ourselves to be the top quality possible, and that has not been the case here tonight. So from my own personal apologies to the folks at home, we're going to try to get this thing figured out here heading into period 3. Stick around. We'll be right back. Third period action coming your way. You're watching Stratford Irish Hockey, presented to you live only on Sportfeed. All right, folks, welcome back inside the broadcast booth of the William Allman Memorial Arena. We get you set for third period action as the Irish are just taking the ice now. The few stragglers, last couple guys making their way onto the ice as the Irish, again, have their work cut out for them, certainly here in this third period. We do apologize. We have diagnosed the issue. We have an internet issue here at the Allman. That is the source of our issue with the stream. For anybody who has paid for the stream tonight and has had to deal with this, we are going to look at finding a way to compensate you guys, refund, whatever it might be, as this is unacceptable, obviously, from a professional organization to have a stream in this manner. Obviously, again, the internet's out of Brian and I's control. But at the end of the day, again, it's unprofessional. It's a bad look on us to be charging money for something like this. Here's Cole Thiessen walking in, takes the shot, and the save by Polidori as the power play expires. Tilbury goes 0 for 2 tonight so far on the man advantage, as Thiessen just missed putting that one in, as he's been robbed a couple of times here by Polidori in recent play. Here's Henderson. He walks in, stripped of the puck by Ryan, and then they move it back. Here's DeCristofaro. From his own zone, he'll look things over. He'll fire it cross ice on the tape. Walking in, here's Salter. He's got room. Gives it to Palillo out front, and Polidori poked it away as Palillo obviously didn't get all of that. That was a glorious opportunity As the Irish come out flying here in period 3, it's Montgomery. Matty Montgomery walks in, drops it back. He's got Palillo, the quick shot, and he sent it high and wide. Comes out the other side. De Cristofaro shot off the outside of the net. Some of the fans reacted to seeing the net move, but it was off the outside of the net. And away goes Ryan. Moves on the left wing side. McComb walks in, takes the shot. Weir, that's no problem for him. He's going to hold on there, and we're going to face off once again as they've, interestingly, to start this period, the double shifted Jake Durham right away. I guess they're trying to, I know it was a power play expiring near the end of the power play, but trying to definitely keep pushing, Brian. You can't take your foot off the gas.
Absolutely. They're going to probably need one more just to make sure they're safe here because Stratford looks good coming out the gates.
There's a shot through a screen, knocked down by McComb. He's got the rebound. He looks things over, tries to get it out front. Matt Barnes back on the blue line again, makes a nice play there. He's going to walk, and he's going to lose his edge. Denemy all over him, and then Durham picks his pocket. Here's Durham. In behind the net. He's already got 3 tonight. He gives it to Johnny Montgomery. He'll fire it. Tetro on the far side takes a shot. It's knocked down and then deflected. Weir's water bottle is inside the net. Interesting here. You don't see that every day as Salter dances away from Durham. And then he's going to turn back, try to get out of trouble, but he's got Denemy and Durham there, and Durham's going to steal it. Durham walks in, gives it to Denemy, and they're going to tap that one in. And that's a costly turnover there, and the Bluebirds.
Well, good grief. That
was egregious.
That can't happen. You know, you've got the puck and you've got possession, and you're going to dance around two of the best players in the league there. I'm not sure exactly what Salter was thinking there, but
well, and his defense left him. They peeled off for a change.
All he had to do was dump the puck out.
Just
once
get
you
it
saw,
out.
I mean, Tilbury has been sending a second forechecker in all night long, and you have to anticipate that. You just got to get, you just need to be smarter than that.
Well, and unfortunately for the Irish, not only did they give up that 4-goal lead right back to the Bluebirds, but again, that pivotal 2 points that was on the line in terms of catching up and trying to get first place back from the Elvinston Killer Bees. Not only that, but the Stratford Jets, if they win tonight in Elvinston, all of a sudden they're right behind you. And I mean, that's what we said about the NPHL. There's not a lot of breathing room, and the Irish are definitely going to live to regret this one, just the way they've played all around. Miglaccio poking away. And Polidori's got it under there somewhere as he laughs it off. And we're going to face off to his right down in the Tilbury zone.
Well, Ryan Polidori has been playing a very good game tonight, and that doesn't surprise anybody. I'm sure anybody who's seen him play over the years, it doesn't surprise anyone that he's playing a good hockey game. But at the end of the day, like I said, there's just Stratford has been doing some really, really weird stuff in their own zone and not adjusting to a good forecheck by the Tilbury squad.
Well, that's definitely the way I would describe this game today so far, Brian, as Henderson fans on the blast, and away goes Darche on the breakaway. Thiessen trying to catch up, and he does, and then Darche does get a shot off, but Weir makes the save. It's just been very uncharacteristic of the brand of hockey that this team has been coached to play, and it kind of all went wrong right off the jump. They get the 1-0 lead, and then, not even 5 minutes later, all of a sudden you're behind 3-1, and the Bluebirds haven't looked back. You got to give them credit. I do as well.
Oh,
I understand.
100%. Yeah, absolutely.
They played a great game. Specifically, Denemy and Durham have pretty much single-handedly, I guess that's not single-handedly with 2 of them, but they have definitely taken over this hockey game, and the Irish have had no answer.
Well, the 2-man forecheck is just eating Stratford up, and they have yet to make that adjustment, and that's what really surprises you.
When you go behind 3-1, your defense has to start pinching early, and we know they already like to pinch, but you have to start pinching early and often. As here's Taggart, nice pass from Denemy. He'll walk in on that left wing. He has to regain control in the corner. They send it towards the net. And now they're double shifting Denemy. He's out there.
I noticed that too.
And I think what this is, Brian, is look, guys, we played 2 really tough games this weekend, 2 road games. Let's walk away and let's get our 2 points. As they just want to put this thing on ice essentially. And they've done a good job of starting this third period, looking for those very important 2 points. Thiessen's going to walk up through center, leave it there for Stavru. Stavru 1-on-3, fires a shot. It's easily blocked. He'll go after it. Stavru. He's got it. He holds the line. As the linesman actually held the whistle up, he's about to call it offside. He waved it off. Here's Hunter. Brady Hunter walks in, takes the shot, and it was off the stick of Tetro. And again, Brian, I hate being so critical of my boys because these guys know I love them, and I have had nothing but respect for these guys since I took over this job. But again, this is probably, in the 35, including playoff games that I've called for this team, this is probably the worst effort I've seen from them. And it just has almost a pond hockey feel to it, the offensive creativity at times for the Irish is run in 3 guys, drop it to the guy in the middle, and just take a shot and hope for the best. And that's not going to win you many hockey games at this level of hockey. I mean, this isn't your daddy's senior hockey like we talk about all the time. And, it's just been a lack of creativity, a lack of offense has really been the story in this one for the Irish. And for the Bluebirds, it's been the complete opposite. They played a perfect road game, silenced the crowd early, got hard on the forecheck, making plays like that. And Ryan leaves it the quick shot, sent high and wide. King ripped that one out of the reach of everybody, and it's back in their own zone. But, Brian, what are your thoughts?
Well, it's the two-man forecheck that's just killing Stratford, absolutely killing them, and they just keep screwing around with it in their own net. We just saw 3 turnovers right there while you were making your point. And, Di Cristofaro was the last one to just give it away and, soft up the middle. So,
backdoor pass there. Di Cristofaro made a nice play that time on King, as that was a backdoor tap-in, but Bluebirds almost set up like it's a power play, and the scary thing is it's not even their top line out there. There's Benga on it. King joins the tie-up. He'll walk out with the puck, and again, it's just looked like a team that wants those loose pucks. They're hungrier tonight, and it's been working out for them so far with that 6-2 lead here. Just over 5 minutes into the third. There's Stavru tied up by Montgomery, and the puck comes free to King. Sorry, that's Ryan. Ryan will fly through. Ryan gains the line. Salter pesters him. Salter takes it away. Salter's going to walk up with the puck. Salter, 2-on-1, walks in, takes the shot, and he sent it high and wide. And that one might have got a piece of Polidori, and it's up and into the netting and out of play.
Well, Salter, a good rush there. He's had a rough game tonight as well, but that was a good rush, and, he can't skate very well. It's just he has some difficulties in his own zone.
Well, and again, we talk about how shorthanded they are tonight. That's a guy who came over and is good friends and has played with Mateo Cabral and as well as Brendan Charlton. That was a line that's supposed to be the line. Those 3 guys playing together, and 2 of the 3 are not here tonight. So that'll definitely cause issues, like we said, with the chemistry, right? The guys just haven't been able to form a line as Calvin Thompson rumbles in after the puck. Good forecheck here. Puck pops free. There's Salter out front, and he's going to run into Polidori, and that's going to be sticks up high in front of that Tilbury net. As something was going to boil over. As Polidori, he had it in his glove, he dropped it, didn't realize it. It went over the goal line. I know it's after a whistle, but as a goalie, I know that's something you never like to do. As Bedard actually has the gloves off, as Salter's underneath it there. He doesn't want any part of it. I think he's saying he was pushed into the goaltender. Not sure who I agree with on that one. I'm not going to worry about it right now, but Calvin Thompson wants a piece of Johnny Montgomery.
Well, Calvin's the kind of guy who sticks up for a teammate. Salter's a small guy, and I think Polidori is aware that he got bumped into him, and Thompson sticking up for his man, and these guys know each other. They played each other a lot of times over the last few years, so no surprises out on the ice there that a guy like Calvin Thompson is sticking up for his teammates.
Yeah, but no surprise from Bedard, too, dropping the gloves, trying to get at Salter there. I mean, that's your goaltender. He's playing really well. Polidori's about to win his 3rd straight start. And 2 of those 3 starts were against the top 2 teams in the division. So, and away they come. Another bad pinch. Durham walks in. He's got McComb on the far side. He's going to turn away, and he's going to take a slash, if you want to call it that. And they're going to call it. And, man, oh, man, it just goes from bad to worse here in Stratford, as he barely touched him right there. And Fuller's going to go have a seat. And I get it here at Stratford. Brian, I'm along. We're homers. We don't like to lose. But, again, it's not like the officiating cost us this game tonight. I would never say that. It's been the terrible, sloppy play.
Yeah, it's been terrible play that's cost him this hockey game.
But the officiating has not been good either. I'm not afraid to criticize it where it needs to be criticized. As the Bluebirds get their 3rd power play of the night, and the Irish are at this pace going to finish the game without a single man advantage. Puck comes free, and away goes Cole Thiessen. And again, if he 2-handed him on the back of the leg, I get it. But, that was barely a tap, and they called it immediately. Arm went up. It just seems like the one official has a vendetta out for Matt Fuller tonight, as he's called him twice on 2 very soft penalties.
I guess what's confusing to me is Bedard had his gloves off.
Yeah, on that scrum.
On that last scrum, and didn't get a penalty.
Yeah, not even coincidental minors. Yeah, that was.
So that's a little confusing to me. But at the end of the day, like I said, the officiating is no thing to me in this point. And the fact that Jake Durham specifically has been allowed to just do whatever he wants in the offensive zone. And
Yep, that's the reason we lost tonight. Is
I wish I was getting paid by the turnover. To be honest with you, I'd be a rich man tonight.
Oh, if I bet the over on the turnovers tonight in Stratford's own zone, I would be walking home a rich man. And again, folks, it's tough. It's a blowout, so obviously commentators look for other things to talk about. We're not trying to get off topic. I understand our stream's been very poor tonight too, and that's been part of what has been frustrating me here. More so than even what's on the ice is my embarrassment for our expectations that we set here in Stratford for the way that we run things, especially with the stream. And there's a quick shot, and it was blocked by Montgomery. And again, I do apologize. 52 seconds to go on this power play. Matt Fuller sitting in the box for 2 or less. And Brian, big game upcoming next week for this Stratford Irish team. It's going to be a two-game weekend, Friday night, playing at Reeves Community Complex in Woodstock versus the Lakers, who are still winless right now. And then they come home and they take on the Alvinston Killer Bees for Teddy Bear Toss night. And I got to say, I just hope they put on a better performance than what we've seen tonight come next Saturday. Because, man, you play like this against Alvinston, that scoreboard's going to have double digits on it for the visitor.
Well, at the end of the day, you got to get some people in the lineup.
Yep.
And, the reason that Stratford is 1 point out of second place is, because of the guys on the roster, and they aren't here. So, you play with, as the old saying goes, my old pappy used to say, you dance with the ones that brung you.
Yep.
So the guys that are here, you play, and you just can't, as an old-time coach, I tell the guys, you don't focus on the ones that aren't there. You focus on the ones that are. And, it's a 6-2 lead, and they certainly can't blame the goaltender for this. There may have been one that Jake Durham shot in the second period that maybe he'd like to have back, but I think he more than made up with that circus save late in the second period as well. So, at the end of the day, it's certainly not on the goalie. And before we get, too many excuses, that it's not like they're missing anybody on defense. The full defensive core is here.
Yeah, what are we minus? Just Connor Hall, I believe,
Just
tonight?
Connor Hall's missing from this D core, and they've got so many D men. They got 2 of them playing up front. So I mean, the fact that they're giving up 6 goals to a team like Tilbury is Tilbury always scores 6 when you let the top line beat you, and that's exactly what they've done tonight.
Power play expires. We're back to 5 aside. Matt Barnes lays it back to DeCristofaro in his own zone. 11:04 to go here in period 3, and that one chipped in, but McKibben right in the right spot makes a nice play. His outlet pass picked off, though, and then they send it in. Here comes Palillo. What a shot, wow. Man. Christian Palillo. A beauty of a slap shot. He let her fly, and it's 6-3 with 10:52 to go. Brian, I won't say too little too late, but, man.
Well, we've been jumping on him for the last 5 minutes or so. And
it's about time.
Watch them come back and score a couple of goals here and get back into this. If you want to take positives away, and we always try to do that, the penalty kill has been much improved tonight.
Yes, the last 2 games, Brian, they're 6 for 6 on the penalty kill.
And this is not an easy team to stop shorthanded with.
No.
If maybe they should just play 4 guys all the time. Maybe they would keep Durham. Durham's got a hat trick, mostly because he's getting so much time out in front of the net.
Here's Taggart walks in. There's Butler. Butler's allowed to walk right in, and Weir makes a good save. And that's, again, a blown defensive zone coverage. But the Irish live to tell about it. They fly in. Stavru finds Palillo looking for number 2, and he just missed. I guess he found something here with that slap shot, Brian. The wrist shot was going wide a little too much, so he said, why not just unload the slap shot? As Stavru backhands one kicked away. And in the corner, they battle for it. Salter gets it to Palillo. Palillo in the high slot. There's Stavru. He'll take a shot. It's kicked away. Rebound was available. Comes back to Cristofaro. He'll fire, and it's blocked by Butler. As you see, all 3 forwards right there for Tilbury just collapsing in the middle, trying to make a play, and they did. As the Irish regain, here's Barnes looking for Salter. It's out of his reach, and right away, here comes that Denemy line. Right on the tape, McComb. McComb swings wide, takes the low shot, and Weir off the pad. Swallows up the rebound. 9:49 to play. 6-3 the score.
Well, I tell you, there's a real good example of why Dylan Denemy is being talked about as one of the great players in this league. What a nice play there. He took an outlet pass just inside his own blue line, a quick look, and then fired a 100-foot pass right on the tape.
Yep, he doesn't miss those. He doesn't miss those passes, Brian, and that's what makes him, like we said, one of the elite players of this league, and I'm sure he'll be making his way to yet another All-Star game as they're going after Montgomery, but Montgomery made a nice pass out front. It was just out of the reach of Migalaccio. Now away goes Durham. Durham, oh, he was lined up he saw last second as they're going hard after Jake Durham here in this third period. And I get it. Jake is a guy that gets under your skin, and as is Montgomery. So to see two guys going after one another and be those two, I'm not even the least bit surprised. As on it there, Calvin Thompson, 9 minutes to go here in period 3. Precious seconds being wasted off here as there's Dylan Denemy. As they say it's offside. Not really too sure how that was offside as he actually played that inside the line, but we'll take it. Face off just outside of the Stratford zone. Oh, yeah, little conversation there. Johnny Montgomery and Silver talking things over.
Silver dropped his mouth guard right behind Montgomery. So
see, I think that's one of the reasons that people always thought they were brothers. Is not only is their name Montgomery, but the two guys just know how to get under your skin, man. They don't play like a dirty brand of hockey at all. They just know how to really tick you off. And Johnny is an expert. Maybe Matt learned from his, quote, older brother, Johnny Montgomery.
Well, and I tell you what, the other thing they have in common is the fact that both their fan bases love them.
Yep, that's right. They're both guys that you would hate to not have. Like, if he's in opposition, you're like, oh, come on, not this guy. But when he's on your team, it's just an incredible, they do the right things, kill penalties, etc. As Stavru has this one in the offensive zone corner, he'll play it out into the slot. Henderson missed it, and then he's going to chop it back down low as this Palillo line getting a lot of minutes here late in this game. 8:23 to go. Back at the line, Thiessen. He'll dance his way through. He'll fire a shot. It went off a leg, went wide. Henderson, the sharp angle. Excuse me. And he sent it back to the line. There's Thiessen. Thiessen off a stick. He goes high in the air, and then it's played out in center ice. Irish are going to reset. Henderson leaves it there for Salter. Salter for Stavru. And Stavru's going to gain the line. Stavru just fires a shot. He's going to peel off for the change. And then the clearing attempt, knocked down by Thiessen. He'll send one on net, kicked away easily that time. And then Henderson gets laid out off the puck in the corner, no call. And then he goes after Montgomery, spears him, and that's going to be a penalty on Henderson. And I understand retaliation will always get it done, but Henderson has a gripe. He didn't have the puck.
He might be out.
I think he's done here. I think that's they might call that a double minor, and they're probably going to kick him out.
Just a slash, lucky.
I think Monty sold that, and when I say Monty, I mean Johnny. I do think he sold that one a little bit, but either way, the initial play was what obviously Henderson's gripe was with, as the Bluebirds get their 4th power play, while the Irish are yet to receive their first tonight. And again, it's not as if, as now Calvin Thompson's got to watch out, he's starting to get physical here. And we're winding down in that area where if you get in a scrap with under 5 minutes left, you get the next game, even in this league. So it's an unlimited fight league in terms of, oh, that puck popped through the glass, and Zach Weir's wife, lovely wife Abby, found the souvenir, and she's going to try to toss it back into play, as that's a goalie's wife I've ever seen one. No, she's going to give it to a youngster, I believe. She's pointing out the youngster in the crowd, but really, Brian, this is a tough situation. I'm not going to criticize any further the officiating, but you do want to see them call it both ways, or else you're going to see things get out of hand. As Denemy was right out front looking for the tip, and he just missed it. Here's Durham. Back to the line, Tetro. He'll go over. There's McComb. McComb back to Tetro. He'll lay one through, and then he shot it actually right off his own teammate. That one stung. And here's Denemy.
That's the second time Butler's gotten hit by a shot tonight.
Yeah, but from his own team both times. Here's Durham at the line. Durham's got a wicked wrister. If he gets some space, he's going to look for the slap shot, and he sent it off the outside of the net. I guess he learned something there from Christian Palillo. It's a slap shot league. Everybody's seeing Rob Shrimp pull out the slap shots, and they
out.
Oh, as Silver, a tough customer, though. He was ready for Butler, who tried to give him the rough stuff at center ice. In behind their own net, 54 seconds to go on the power play. Like we said, Brian, one of the takeaways you want from this game, we said, play a good third period, play aggressive, try to get back in the hockey game. They surrendered that 6th goal, but since then they've been playing better, and they're killing penalties here. But King's going to walk right in, take the shot. Weir, the glove save. It pops out. And they're going to clear it. Here's Montgomery. Might be a 2-on-1. Montgomery moves up. Barnes with him. Montgomery waits for the trailer. Di Cristofaro, a nice move for Montgomery. And it was a tap-in, and he missed it. Just under his stick. The pass just missed, and away go the Bluebirds. Here's Ryan. He'll leave it there for King. King takes the shot, and it was blocked by Barnes. Final 18 seconds of this power play. Bluebirds stay set up. McKibben, he'll go far corner. There's Ryan. Ryan leaves it down low. Benga. Benga back for Ryan. Ryan back for Benga. Power play expires, so Bluebirds do go 0 for 4 tonight. As that puck off of Barnes. It's sent all the way around out of the reach of Ryan, and on it there, Henderson. Henderson, fresh out of the box, leaves it there. Polillo, can he get to it? Yes. Polillo has it. He waits. He lays it across Salter. Salter walks in the shot and took a little bit too much time there to get it off, and Polidori saw it all the way. He'll make the save. 5:22 to play here, period 3. 6-3 remains the score.
Well, a little bit of a third period lead, passive power play by the Tilbury Bluebirds, but otherwise a very good kill by Stratford. So like I say, we're looking for positives wherever we can get them, and you can certainly say, number one, they aren't quitting. They're playing hard right to the final whistle. And number two, the penalty kill has looked much improved tonight.
Absolutely, Brian, it has, and that's one of the areas they really struggled with in the early part of the season, particularly in their contests with Strathroy both times. As they played Strathroy, I believe already 3 times. They won here at home in their home opener 3-2, and then they lost in Strathroy in a barn burner, and then they actually won an overtime barn burner a week and a half ago in Strathroy. Here's Thiessen out front. Polillo takes the shot. He scores. Christian Polillo. 6-4. Don't look away, folks. Christian Polillo on a heater here. Gets the Irish right back into it. 2-goal game, 450. That's plenty of time for this team, Brian. And I got to say, Tilbury, you pointed it out on that power play. They look like they mailed this thing in. They started getting a little sloppy. I wouldn't be surprised to see a timeout called here on that Tilbury bench because they seem to have gotten lackadaisical is the word I'm looking for here in this last 10 minutes of this game.
Well, what they've done is they've stopped with the two-man forecheck that was working so well for them. They're up, and fair enough, you're up 4 goals in the third period. You don't need your two-man forecheck. It requires a lot of effort. But ever since they stopped forechecking, Stratford has been, really pushing the pace and pushing the puck through and getting the puck out of their own zone. Other than that one play, now you really regret that one horrible giveaway.
Yeah, absolutely.
By Salter there. Otherwise, this is a 1-goal hockey game with 4.5 minutes to play.
Yep, and just the way that, a few of these chances developed, Montgomery just missing the 2-on-1. And again, it's all ifs and buts, candy and nuts. But it is tough because this could be a closer hockey game. And Stratford's played I'm not going to sugarcoat, a terrible game tonight. And they're within 2 goals here with 4 minutes left. So take it with a grain of salt. Here's Lacotte from his own zone. Irish clock is the enemy now. 4 minutes to play. Here's Montgomery. He'll go far side. There's Salter. He'll backhand it in. He'll ride the plate. Wouldn't you love to have a Zach Magwood on the ice tonight? There's a turnover out front. Henderson jumped up on the play, and Polidori made a good save on the knuckleball. As that puck was fluttering its way towards the net, and Polidori had no problems with it. For 3:49, I wouldn't be surprised here, Brian. I'd say give it another minute here. We'll get Weir out of the net, and we'll see what these guys are made of.
Yeah, I agree. At the end of the day, like I said, it just as soon as Tilbury stopped forechecking, Stratford's able to get the puck down and put pressure on the Tilbury net.
Well, and I'd imagine and presume that Dylan Denemy is going to be playing at least 2.5 of those last 3 minutes. So you want to try to get something started here on the forecheck with this second line on the ice for Tilbury if you can. But they're doing a good job playing keep away here, and Ryan's going to start some offense. He's in that corner. He's tied up there by Thiessen, who gives him a bump. And then they send it up the wall, and it's out to center ice. But Tilbury's okay to play it there, as, like I said, precious seconds waste away here. Tetro, he'll go back to King. King fires it on the tape. Nice pass there. Here comes Ryan. He'll lay it, and that's offside as King and Thiessen come together. And he's King's brother. Again, these Tilbury guys with the same last names. I'm just going to assume they're brothers. But 2 guys named King, you just never know. As now that's Silver getting into it with King. As there's a lot of trash talk going on between these 2 teams. And, Brian, the history of these 2 teams meeting in the postseason.
So well, right?
Exactly.
I mean, the 6-gamer was epic last year, and I think they played each other 11 times last year.
Yep. As this one worked free. Nice play that time by Valancourt, but he was unable to get it on net. As he's got it in the corner. And this is not the area of the ice the Irish want to be set up in here with 3 minutes to go, as Thiessen tackled that time. Again, arms stay down, but I'm not going to comment on that. Here comes Silver. He's on the right wing. He's just going to dump it in. It'll go off the glass, high off the window. Weir stays put in the net. Silver leaves it there. Salter pokes at it. King on him. He can't get it to Silver. It's a 4-man tie-up. Puck comes free. Here's Butler. Butler then swings it up the wall. Valancourt tied up nicely by Henderson. Can he get support? No, as it was just a moment too late there for Polillo. Here's Polillo. Leaves it there for Thiessen. Thiessen, jump cut, makes a nice move, and then McKibben. He's been so good tonight. has McKibben. He's been out of all the physical stuff, the after the whistle stuff, but when he's needed to make a play, he's needed, and he's made the play. As here's Henderson. He'll dance his way around that blue line. He'll leave it there for Thiessen. Cole Thiessen dances around Bedard. He'll try to get it in front of Stavru. It pops at the side of the net. They want Polidori to cover it, and a little bit of a chaotic fray there as Bedard getting his hand up in Cole Thiessen's face. And I think Cole Thiessen's just showing him the ring finger right now in this league. I think that's enough to say it, because Junior A championships, Junior B championships, it's all good and well. You'll never forget that. But in the here and in the now, those two guys played each other last year, and Cole walked away with that championship ring. So I think that's probably why he held his hand up there. I'm just guessing. As that one chopped at the side of the net by Stavro, there's Denemy just so strong on the puck. And like we said, I mean, when you got a frame at 6'4", as they let that one go icing. Denemy listed at, I think, 6'3", 6'4". I know him personally, like 240 pounds, and that's 240 pounds of muscle.
That's conservative too. That dude is thick as a brick, man. I tell you what. And it's just me. I wanted to ask you about this. Is it just me, or is there a little bit more sandpaper to Cole Thiessen's game than normally?
Yeah, we
see out of him.
Henderson signals the timeout there. So, but to answer the question, Brian, I do agree. I think it's been a different kind of feel from Cole Thiessen tonight. Obviously, that one really bad shift, and then he had the giveaway.
Yeah.
And again, we're all human. I'm not going to sit here and criticize Cole. If I could go out there and do it, I would. I wouldn't be sitting in the broadcast booth, but I acknowledge that I can't do it at this level. And he's one of the best defensemen in this league. So.
Absolutely, he is. And so, yeah, we were critical of him earlier, but I thought it was well-founded, to be honest with you. And I would imagine if you talked to Cole after the game, he would agree with you that, he had points of this game where he struggled, but he's also still that dangerous, offensive-minded, smooth skating defenseman that we've come to know and that the fan base loves. And like I said, at the end of the day, it's still a 2-goal lead with just under 2 minutes left, and as much trouble as they have had tonight, here we are in a 6-4 hockey game with 2 minutes to go, and if they can manage to get an empty netter here, just winning this period is a nice takeaway after what was a very, very bad second period.
They wave off the icing here. It does go the length of the ice. Surprised they waved that one off, but regardless, here comes Thiessen with 1:37 to go. As Dylan Denemy won a huge draw right there. That's what got, as he does that all the time. I mean, he's probably, like I said, the best faceoff man in this division of this league specifically. Again, I'm not well studied enough in the eastern portion of this league to tell you, as that one's going to be chipped out through center ice. Not enough for icing. 1:16 to go, but Dylan Denemy, just an elite face-off man. Brian, they had the timeout. They got something drawn up. They got the extra attacker on, and he just...
But it doesn't matter if you can't win the draw.
Exactly. Puck possession is everything in hockey. As Henderson dumps it in. They get after it. Silver can't get it, and then Denemy's going to chop it all the way down the ice just wide. As they got to blow that whistle right away. I was going to say, this isn't the NHL. You don't have to hit the hash marks. You got to blow that whistle right away, and when your linesman is at as tough of a game as this guy, I'm sure he doesn't need to hear it. So they've been giving it to him all night, both teams. All right, they're going to get a face-off set up. Once again, it's Denemy. That's what I mean. Why not take the shot? You're up 2.
Oh, absolutely. With 2 goals, you can get away with shooting it down the ice.
And right now, Montgomery's our best face-off man, and he loses that one cleanly, again, just because of the sheer talent of Dylan Denemy on the draws specifically. As, again, they wave off the icing. It did go the length. It might have hit a Stratford stick. I didn't get a good look at it, but we're under 40 seconds to play, as we're basically all but academics here, as here comes Stavro. Stavro moves in, drops it back. Henderson the shot right into the chest. Polidori holds on, and we'll get a face-off once again with 34.7 Brian takeaways. I feel like the Irish did accomplish what they set out to do here in this third period. Obviously a disappointing game overall. You had an opportunity to gain ground on Elvinston, heading into next weekend when you're going to play them here on home ice. Unable to do that. But I do feel that they did accomplish some things, putting the foot on the gas here in the third, and all things considered with the short lineup. They did great work. Good to see Christian Polillo get back on the hot streak. As Henderson's blast sent off a leg. We're under 20 seconds to go here in period 3, and they're going to turn it over. And the Bluebirds are going to ice it, as there is Benga to put the game away with 10 seconds to go. That's going to do it. 7-4 tonight will be the final score. But Brian, again, what were your thoughts on what we talked about at the beginning of the period to at least bounce back a little bit here in the third and try to get back in this game a bit.
Well, as I mentioned earlier, if not for that one horrible giveaway by Salter, then they make this into a 5-4 game, and that's when you're trying to come back from a 5-2 deficit in the third period. The number one rule is you can't give up another one, and so when you have a situation where you do give up another goal like that, then that pretty much kills any effort at a comeback. So full marks. As for all the criticism that we've thrown out there, full marks to Tilbury. They played a very good road game. That two-man forecheck worked like a charm all night long. And when he needed to be good, Ryan Polidari was good and kept them, kept the score down to 2 and 3 for the most part until the Christian Palillo show started. I think on the fourth goal, he'd want to have that one back. Went 5-hole on him on the ice. But at the end of the day, the better team won tonight. And like I said, moving forward, Stratford just needs to get the guys that are on this roster on the ice. And, when you're missing the amount of talent that they have, even Ray Robbins, who was supposed to be here after the first period, he never ended up showing up either. And
Stephen Pirog was also listed on the active roster tonight, as you'll see there.
Yep, absolutely.
He was active, and he's not here tonight. So, again,
it's tough, you're shorthanded, your top players are not around, and when you don't have an answer for a guy like Denemy and Durham, it's really tough. So like I said, having said that, they didn't play well, and guys who are normally dependable didn't have good games. But again, 2 points I want to make. Number one, it's one game out of 20, so you don't want to overreact. You just want to learn from it, take positives that you can, such as the good penalty kill, 4 for 4 on the penalty kill. And the other thing you want to mention is that, if you've been watching this team as long as I have, since day one, they routinely and annually start off frustratingly slow. And then it's not who's winning the games in November that makes the difference.
Yes.
They're a two-time champion. They've been around for 4 years. They've won the championship twice. And that's because they don't start strong. They finish strong. And that's the important thing to remember for any Irish fans who might be watching tonight, that, where you really want to focus is when they get everybody in. And, when you look at who was on the ice there of those forwards, add 6 more guys who are all top 6 forwards. From Pirog to, we went through the list, Ray Robbins, Cabral, Pekka,
Maya,
and Magwood and Maya. There's 2 lines right there. And so all the guys that were on the ice, if you picture them as third and fourth line guys and then throw those 6 on top of that, get the defenseman out like you had, Zach Weir will have a better game later on. I didn't think he played poorly. Like I said, there was probably the one he wanted back. I think it was Durham's second goal. But at the end of the day, they played poorly. We talked about it. You move on, and you've got a good opportunity next. I believe it's Friday night. They play Woodstock, a team that has not won yet. Just get a couple of guys going that haven't scored, and then make sure you're getting guys in the lineup for next Saturday's home game against mighty Evanston.
Exactly. That's what I was going to say as my final thought as well. You know what? It's kind of important. It's weird that they've lost 2 of their 3 games that they've lost this year at home, and we were witnesses to both of them, obviously. But this team has never been a great home ice team from at least the time I've worked here. They're an elite road team. They'll go in and they'll put a fight up on the road. So for Woodstock, that's going to be tough. But you want to bounce back next week. It was good to face this tonight. With the short lineup, go out. Do what you can. They played like you know what. And, you got a week to reset things. Come out, attack it next weekend, try to go get 4 points and try to get back into contention for the top spot in the Metropolitan Conference Gateway Division, as that's the new setup. It was the Metropolitan Division split into 2 separate entities. But now, Brian, it is the Metropolitan Conference. We have the Gateway and the Loyalist Division. And we are currently in second place after tonight, still holding that second place spot over the Stratford Jets, who are playing in Elvinston. That puck drop was 6:45. Folks, head to NPHL.com to check out the live score. All right, I'm Trey Hamilton. Thanks so much for joining us tonight. You've been watching Stratford Irish Hockey, presented to you live only on Sportfy. Have a good night, folks. Take care.